that when we will start this Ramayana, that we will chant Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, so all together for some time. And if possible, just clap the hands, clapping the hand and say Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, that much. So please join with me. Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, 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 Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Friends, we have already started this, the unique, a personality. It's an eternal personality, Sri Ramachandra, and naturally about him the book Ramayana is an eternal story. The eternal story of an eternal personality that we are studying. We won't go to all the stories of the Ramayana, rather we will go for the characters of the Ramayana. So that will be better, because most of us, we know the story. Now, about the Sri Ramachandra, it says that Yan Maya Bashabarti Bishyamakhilam Brahmadi Devasura Yat Sattvat Amrita Shaiva Bhati Sakalam Rajyo Yatha He Brahmaha Yat Pada Plavamiba Bhati Hi Bhavambo Dhesti Tirshabatam Bandoham Tamashesha Karana Param Ramakhyam Isham Harim. So who is this Rama? Beautifully it says, I salute the Supreme Lord Hari. Hari means the Vishnu, known as Rama. So this is the Hindus, the Sanatana Dharma, they always believe this universe is created by the Supreme Lord. And that Supreme Lord sometimes takes the form of a human form and comes down to guide the human being to go back to the goal. So that is the way it goes. So this Supreme Lord has come down as a Sri Rama, the cause of transcending all relative causes. He is the cause of transcending all relative causes. What are the relative causes? This world, this universe. So they are all relative, and we are transcending that cause, whose mysterious power controls all beings in the worlds, including Brahma, the Devas, and the Asuras, whose substance gives reality to all things, just as the rope does it to the snake appearing on it. The many of you know this Vedantic example, how this world is our creation, how we create by covering the original thing and superimposing something which we like to see. So there was a rope on the road, and we superimposed snake on that, but it was the rope only. Now the question is, if the rope is not there, we won't see the snake. The Buddhists and the Hindus, they differ on this point. The Buddhists say there is nothing, it is completely blank, a school of Buddhism. The Shunnam, the Shunnam means nothing is there. But the Vedantin, the Hindus, they will say something cannot come out of nothing. So we will discuss it again and again, so that this particular idea goes into our head, so we can understand what is actually God and how to realize God and what will happen after realization. So he is the substance. What is the substance? The rope on which we have superimposed the snake. It was in reality it is the rope. If the rope was not there, the snake would have not come. So obviously the Brahman is there on which we are superimposing this world, this manifestation, the millions of varieties of things. So that is Sri Ramachandra. And in different words, actually they are mentioning the one word, he is the Brahman, he is the basis of everything, and he is the creation also. And whose feet alone before a spiritual aspirant as a boat for crossing the ocean of samsara. What is samsara? Samyak sarati ya sa samsara. Samyak, constantly, sarati, changing, ya, that is samsara. Constantly changing, right from the sun down to the grass. Everything is changing. Our bodies are changing, minds are changing, thoughts are changing, everything is changing. So naturally, anything that changes, it's called the samsara. That's why the Sanskrit name has been given, that which changes, the samsara. Now friends, offering this, understanding this, that we will study the Ramayana. Ramayana began with a question, and question was asked by the great Rishi Valmiki to the Narada. Narada is a well-known person, and he used to live with the Lord Vishnu himself. He is living, and he knew many things, and he used to go to different places to meet people, and he went to this our Valmiki, and the Valmiki asked him a question. That's a very beautiful question. Sir, can you please tell me? Then he is asking, ko asmin sampratam loke gunavan kascha viryavan dharmagyascha kritagyascha sattavako didhabrata adi kanda. And the beginning of the Ramayana, it is there. Then atmavan ko jita krodho dutiman ko anasuyakaha kasya bibbati devamscha jataroshascha samyuge. Then Adi Kandir 1 to 4 is totally in these 4 lines. He is asking a question. What is the question? Who is this Sampratam Loke in the contemporary world? Is there anyone? O Narada, do you know anyone in this contemporary world who is noble, heroic, virtuous, grateful, truthful, firm in his promises, self-confident, conqueror of anger, handsome, forgiver of others' fault, again when angry, even the gods become afraid of him. So that was the question. So when that question, Narada then told him, oh yes, I know one prince, and that prince, and then Narada, he is giving in 4 lines, he is telling, Vishnuna sadrisho birye somavat priyadarshanaha kalagni sadrishal krodhe shamaya prithivi shamaha. How is this person? He says, Vishnuna sadrisha birye, in might, in power, in knowledge. So he is like the Vishnu himself. Vishnuna sadrisha. Sadrisha, the Sanskrit word means in likewise. So he is like the Vishnu, and Somavat Priyadarshanaha. And Priyadarshana, like the moon, is so handsome, so beautiful, like the moon. Somavat Kalagni Shadrisha Krodhe. But when he become angry, he is like the hellfire, Kalagni. And Shamaya Prithibi Samaha. Like when he is forgiving, he is just like the earth. Earth is the great forgiver. So many people walking on it, so many things going on, but constantly going on giving the blessings and nothing else. So Shamaya Prithibi Shama. So this is the famous Ramachandra. And the story that we know, that the Dasharatha, he had a prayer, the yajna, and in the yajna he got with the blessings of the Brahma, he got the 4 sons, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna. The Dasharatha was having 3 wives. So Rama from the first wife, and the second wife Bharata, and the third wife, the 2 sons, the Lakshmana and Shatrughna. The Rama, Bharata, Lakshmana, Shatrughna. So this goes the story. This is the eternal. It is going like this. Now Rama, when he completed his education and he came back, 4 brothers, they went to the teacher. That was the system of those days. I was telling in one talk, they asked me to give a talk on education and the institution of the global institution. So they wanted to know. So I told, see, this is the system it was in ancient time in India. The India developed education because long before any other society understood, India understood the education is the main power for the human being. If the education is there, so they will develop. Education is the main power. So they call Veda. Veda means knowledge, and that is the education. So even the prince, they also used to go to the Gurukula, and they used to live a very humble life with many others. All other students, they have come and they will be sitting with them, living with them, like that, learning with them. So they used to know that, oh, I am a king's son, I am a prince, so I am separate. Not like that. So they used to become very humble. The humbleness, that is the main thing. And they used to understand the hardship. To get something, you have to work so hard. And if they get everything, whatever they want, because the parents, they think that they will go on giving the gift to their children and they'll be very happy. Not like that. The training is the main thing. So that they used to, from 6 years to 16 years, the 10 years they used to live in the Guru Griha along with the Guru. So that was the system. And Rama came back, and after coming back, he naturally, after graduation, when he came back, he told his father, I like to go and visit different places. Father permitted, go, because 10 years he was a discipline in a school, so now you can go and enjoy. Rama went out with his brothers and friends, and then after visiting their country was a very big country. Last talk I said that it was a really big country. His father was a very famous king. So he came back. Rama mainly visited the holy places. Rama met the holy people, talked with them. Then when he came back, he started thinking, what is it? The whole life, the whole world, everything is so temporary. Now his father, he was preparing the Rama should become the king and he will retire. But Rama told, why? because this world is so temporary, everything is temporary. Why should I become a king? What I am going to achieve by being a king? So that time Rama became very depressed, and he started thinking about the temporariness of this life. I don't like to marry, I don't like to become a king, I don't like to talk with any people around, I don't like to take food also as the kings they used to take. So his life became very simple, very austere. And that was the time when a rishi came. He was Vishamitra. Vishamitra was a Kshatriya. His father, the Kannakubja's king, his name was Gadhi. The Vishamitra was his son, Gadhi's son. But Vishamitra was a Kshatriya, and Kshatriya means they used to do, the military class. So one day so happened, he went to a jungle, and there he found that a beautiful cow standing over there. That cow belonged to the Vasishtha, another rishi. And that time the Vishamitra, he wanted to take that cow from there, but he could not, because it was a very famous cow and it could produce many things. Vishamitra thought, I am a Kshatriya, I am having the physical power, I am having the arms, what a Brahmana can do. But the Vasishtha sat over there and created the hundreds of soldiers to fight against him. The Vasishtha protected and defeated the Vishamitra. Vishamitra then understood the physical power cannot give the peace. I need the spiritual power. So from then onwards he left everything and started practicing meditation and spiritual austerity, very severe austerity. Once or twice he fell from that austerity. Even then again he will say, no, again I will try, again I will try. And finally he became a rishi, and the Brahma gave him the blessings. Vasishtha also accepted him as a Brahmana. So what is Brahmana? One who has realized the Brahman. He is a Brahmana. Anyone can become a Brahmana after realizing the Brahman, the God. Vasishtha, from Kshatriya, he was elevated to the knower of Brahman. And the Gayatri Mantra that we always chant, very famous mantra, very pure mantra, it was his mantra. He started that Gayatri Mantra. And in the Rig Veda, this Gayatri Mantra is there. The Gayatri Mantra he created. He visualized that and he created the Gayatri Mantra. He came to Rama's father, Dasharatha, in Ayodhya. Now, Dasharatha himself was thinking what to do with the Rama. Rama is now not listening to his father. And always a time comes when the parents, they wonder why the children are not listening to them. So that is the age, 16 years, 17 years, that from the teen age, as the changes come, so we all know, all parents, and up to that, they are so humble, always very obedient, but after 16, 17, they start developing their own thoughts, own ideology and own way of expression, behavior. The parents, they wonder why the children are not listening to us. Rama's father was also confused. Dasharatha was also confused what to do. Now the Raghu Vamsha, the clan of the Raghu, their priest was the Vasishtha Muni, and he was a great sage. The Vasishtha and the Rama's father and other ministers, when they were talking about it, Vishamitra came and told, see, I am performing one yajna, I am trying to do some spiritual thing, but some good bad people are there, so they are coming and disturbing the puja. Can you please send Ramchandra to fight with them? And Khara Dushana, they were really very bad people and very powerful people. Then in the meantime, Dasharatha, out of the joy that the Vishwamitra has come, he was a very powerful rishi. He said, "Oh Rishi, you have come without an invitation. I am so happy. Whatever you want, I will give it to you." He said without listening to why he has come. "I know you have come for some purpose, and whatever may be the purpose, take it for granted it has been given to you." That was a promise. Now the Vishwamitra said, "I want Rama to come along with me and then to fight." And that means he has to go a long way with Vishwamitra, and only 16 years old boy. Now what to do? Then the people who used to look after the Rama, the attendants, they came and told that report, the Rama is not keeping the normal life, he is not talking with anyone, most of the time he is living in his room all alone. Naturally, father became also concerned. Vishwamitra told, "Please invite Rama over here in the court. Let us listen. What has happened to him?" The Rama came, and that was the beauty. He came and touched the feet of the Guru and his father, paying the respect. That is the Indian tradition, for the juniors should come and bow down before the seniors. The Rama showed that culture he is practicing, and then he asked, "Why you people are thinking about me? Because I am going to die. I have decided, until I know what is the cause of this creation, I am not going to eat or live like the other people. I am disgusted with all this." This is called vairagya, viraga, when you don't feel attraction for the worldly things. So Rama, it was extreme. Then a long conversation between the Rama and Vashishta, and that is called Yoga Vashishta. So that is another chapter. And here, after all those things were over, Vashishta convinced Sri Ramachandra, and Vashishta convinced the father also, that you please allow Ramachandra to go along with the Vishwamitra, because Vishwamitra is a very powerful rishi. He is a Brahmana, at the same time Kshatriya. So he will be a very good teacher. Now Rama need that teaching from the Vishwamitra. Moreover, being a Kshatriya, he has to face this type of difficulties. Vishwamitra is a powerful rishi. He will protect your son, don't worry. Send the Rama with the Vishwamitra. And Vishwamitra took him. The whole Rama was going on, that he is traveling in different places. And when one place, when they came and stopped over there, the Vishwamitra told Rama, "Oh Rama, you should get up early morning." The prince. So naturally he used to sleep for a long time. Without prince, mostly of our people, they will be getting up at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in India. They all sleep so long. So the Vishwamitra was started teaching Ramachandra, you should get up early in the morning and you should meditate, you should pray, you should purify your mind. So you should do the physical strength, you should grow the physical strength, and at the same time you should purify your mind. And how to purify the mind? By meditation, by repeating the name of God, and when the sun is rising, that is the best time one should do it. So try to do it. So that was the way it was going on. Then he was showing the places and introducing Rama, the future king of Ayodhya, how people are living. The people, they live over there, but there are some people called Asura, the bad people. they're coming and torturing them. The being a king, you should protect these ordinary people, good people, give them education, develop the economy, so the people should be happy. So he was introducing. And he introducing the Indian culture also. What is the Indian culture? How people they live. So Rama was going on learning. And at the same time, he was giving him the military training also. All the military training Rama learned, because that was necessary for Ramachandra to fight against the Ravana afterwards. All those things he learned from Vishwamitra. Then the day came, he was there, Rama and Lakshmana, and they protected the particular performance, spiritual performance that Vishwamitra was doing. These two brothers, with their power, they could control, they could protect, everything was over. Then Vishwamitra was very happy, satisfied, and he told, let us go to a place called Mithila. So the Mithila, one thing was going on, the self-bridegroom selection. It is called Sayambara. In our country, today only I was observing, somebody has collected and he has given it this way. Please come in, sir. There's somebody that collected in this way, that in India, mostly in the northern part of India, the ratio between the boy child and the girl child is so different. Out of 1,000 male, it is only 925 the women. It's a great difference. And then the education also. The women education in the northern bloc are very bad, very poor. So like that, the South India and Eastern India, they are far better in the gender ratio, in the women education. So even today it is like this. So naturally, the Ramchandra, when he went to Mithila, and he learned all this, and Mithila was going on, that's called the self-bridegroom selection. That was the tradition of our Indian tradition. The girls should select the husband. Now the husbands are selecting the wives. They go to see the girl, not the opposite. And how it used to happen? The father will declare that my daughter will marry a so and so type of young man, the king or the prince, they should come. So they used to come, and then the one person will be there. When the bride will come inside with the girl, and the person will go on introducing, this king belongs to this, and he is like this, he is like that, and then the next, and then the next. And the girl, whenever she is putting the girl and that they are married. And there, in the Mithila, the king Janaka, who was actually the foster father of Sita. This is not the biological father, he was the foster father of the Sita, but he was very fond of Sita. And Janaka was a great king, very powerful king. And Janaka told Pawn Pratha. Now the Pawn Pratha means the girls' side, they should pay some money to the boy before the marriage. That's a very bad thing. Now it was completely opposite. The fathers used to feel so proud of the girl child, and they used to keep that if you can prove this type of thing, then only my daughter will marry you. And here we find he kept a very strong bow and told, if anyone can string it, the Kshatriya. So naturally the physical might you have to show. If anyone can put that string into that bow, then my daughter will marry you. And so many other Kshatriya princes came, but they could not do. Then the Vishwamitra asked Ramchandra to do it. At ease he did it, and that bow was Shiva's bow, very powerful bow. But the Ram did with such a force that he broke also. The Haradhanu Bhanga, that is the story many of us we know. Haradhanu, Hara means the Shiva, Dhanu means the bow, Bhanga, it broke. So that was called the Pana. Pan means the promise. The girl's father is to promise that I will put the hand of my daughter to you, give the hand of my daughter to you, if you can do like this. So the Pan Pratha, Ram proved it. So they got ready for the marriage of the Rama and Sita. Then this Vishwamitra again, he told our Raja Janaka, Janaka, you have another daughter, the Urmila. Why don't you give the marriage to Ram's brother Lakshmana? Lakshmana was following Rama. They were 16 years old. The Rama went over there and stayed, maybe we can say 18 now, after the 1 or 2 years. And both of them went over there, and when the Sita was married to the Rama, another daughter of the King Janaka and his wife Sunayana. I am telling the names because they are interesting. Mostly we don't find it. The Sunayana and the Janaka and their daughter, she married to the, and who is the Urmila? The Urmila was married to Lakshmana. The Janaka was having 2 brothers. Janaka, King Janaka was having 2 brothers. One is Kushadhaja, and the Kushadhaja's daughter was Mandavi. And his another brother, Kushabhojana, his daughter was Srutakirti. This Srutakirti. So 4 sisters and the 4 brothers, they married. That is the kings, the unification of the 2 kings. Vishwamitra did it. He arranged in such a way so the 2 powerful kingdoms become the relatives. So they married, and all the Dasharatha and his 3 wives, all they came. When they were returning back, on the way, another Rama came and stopped them, and that was Parasurama. And its story goes like this: the Parasurama was a Brahmin, but one king put a dead snake on the shoulder of his father, who was meditating at that time. That showed the Kshatriyas are becoming very egoistic and ignoring the educated people. So that is the reason he took up the arm and then started punishing the Kshatriyas. He was very powerful. He trained up the Brahmin boys, and with that force he was going on fighting those Kshatriyas who were not practicing the age-old tradition of keeping the balance of spirituality and at the same time the wealth, the balance of the prosperity, material prosperity, along with the spirituality. That is called dharma. In Vaishashika, our another philosophy afterwards, he says, what is dharma? That which gives us the material prosperity and spiritual development. That is called dharma. If all are poor, beggars, and if they have very good dharma, then what people are going to say about them at all? The poverty-stricken people, and they talk about religion? No, they should be very economically very powerful. Friends, you know, again and again I say, the human society is just like a tree, and for the tree the main thing is the root. If the root is not there, the tree cannot stand. And that root of the human society is economy. Why people are bowing down to America? They like America. They like to come to America. Just because some white-skinned people? No. Because of the economical growth. Because of the wealth that they are having. So that is the reason India one time became the target for all over the world. They all used to go to India. Why? Because economical development and at the same time the spiritual development was there. Now some kings having the power, power corrupts, and they became very egoistic. They started fighting with the Brahmanas. They told, who are you to guide us, give us the advices? So that was those kings, the Kshatriyas, the Parasurama was punishing. And that is the reason the Hindus, they accept him as one of the avatars. The purpose of the avatar is to establish the dharma. So Parasurama was establishing dharma by punishing those egoistic kings who became very egoistic and were torturing the ordinary people. So that is the story. When they made the Sri Rama, Rama was a Kshatriya. But though he was a Vishnu himself, but he was born as a Kshatriya king. Parasurama came and stopped to him over there and he said, you have to fight with me. Rama went, paid his respect and bowed down before him, because Parasurama was the Brahmin, Rama was Kshatriya. So that is the system, the Kshatriya bowing down, giving the respect to the Brahmin. And then as a Kshatriya, if you challenge to fight for the war, immediately they will accept. Whether they die or they win, it doesn't matter. They will accept that. That is the Kshatriya dharma. Then Rama accepted that. But looking at Sri Ramachandra, this Parasurama understood that this is not an ordinary person. He is not an ordinary king. He is the Lord Vishnu himself. Because he was a yogi, he could understand that. So immediately he said, I am sorry. Now my purpose is over. Now the Supreme God has already come. Dharma Raksha, the protection of the Dharma, guiding the human soul, human mind towards the supreme goal. That is now, God, you will do, O Ramchandra, you will do. Now I am now retiring. You know that some people will say the Ramachandra took out all the strength from him. It is not like that. He understood that my mission is over. So he then gave the Ramachandra that all responsibility and he retired. This is called Sri Ramachandra. And why the Parasurama accepted Sri Ramachandra? Because he was an avatar. But the ordinary people could not understand. It is very difficult to understand that God is taking the human form. Even today, some people will go on criticize Ramachandra. Why? Well, there are 2-3 things are there. The Ramachandra killed Bali. We may come to that story afterwards. He killed the Bali, and the Bali was fighting with his brother Shugriva. And they say why he killed Bali unnecessarily. The 2 things are there. Rama was in fact alive with the Bali. So when with the Shugriva. So naturally, when the Shugriva was being defeated by his powerful brother Bali, Ram came forward to support. Moreover, after the Bali was shot, when the Bali told, I am not having any enmity with you, why did you kill me? Why trying to kill me? The Rama told, see, you have accepted your brother's wife as your wife. That is not a good practice. You should stop it. So we can understand the purpose of the avatara as Sri Ramachandra. The Indian society one group of people, they realized the truth. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. This world is illusory. The Brahman, the consciousness, all pervading, that is the only truth. A group of people understood. The kings were also just. Training and other system were also good. But at the same time, there were people, hundreds of them, uneducated, uncultured. So for them, only physical, the joy, that was the goal. So it is Ramachandra now, he has come, and as an avatar, he was giving a human society a shape. If we try to understand this, the Gautama Muni's wife, she was there called Ahalla. The Lord Indra, who was having some magical power to transform, he came in the form of a Gautama Muni, and the lady Ahalla could not understand. Then afterwards, he met the Ahalla and went away. Then Ahalla realized that it is a great mistake she has done. She could not recognize that it's not his husband, and she disclosed that to her husband, Gautama Muni. Gautama was a great powerful Muni. The Muni told, well, I cannot accept you now because you have committed a sin. You have to wait till the Ramachandra comes over here. Rama is coming, he will come, and if Rama accept you and say that you have not committed any sin, it is unknown to you, I will accept you as my wife once again. So see how the society was accepting Rama's counsel, Rama's ways. We have to, Ramachandra, simply the God, not like that. He was giving a beautiful shape to the society. The human life should be like this. When his brother, the Lakshmana, wanted to kill the Kubja, then when the Kubja was, so then he should know, the never ever punish the women. The ladies and the women, the daughters should be protected always. Never ever punish them. And the relation between the brothers, relation between the king and the subject, relation between the husband and the wife, it is all Sri Ramachandra. So he was developing this unique society. I feel like that. He was developing the unique society, and that's why Sri Ramakrishna afterwards, some people they doubt whether Rama was there or not. I don't. Why? Sri Ramakrishna accepted Sri Ramachandra. Ramakrishna, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna worshipped the whole family of Sri Ramakrishna. They used to worship Sri Ramachandra. Sri Ramachandra, Raghubir was their family deity. So obviously, when Sri Ramakrishna is accepting Sri Rama as an avatar, why we should not? And he said it so many times. At the time of his death, when he was almost on the verge of death, and those who have gone through the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, you know, his beloved disciple Swami Vivekananda was standing in one place, and he was thinking, if Sri Ramakrishna can now say that he is God, then I will accept it. The moment the thought crossed the Swami Vivekananda's mind, he didn't utter, he was just thinking. Sri Ramakrishna understood, and immediately he said, he who was Rama, he who was Krishna, now in this body as Ramakrishna. So why can't we accept the Sri Ramachandra? So friends, we will continue this. They're very interesting, the character, very ideal character, and the first verse that I was reading from 1 to 4, the verses in the Adi Kanda, in the beginning. So that we should remember, so many wonderful qualities Sri Ramachandra was having. Now Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, when someone asked how to realize God, he said, very many times he said, Nama Guna Kirtana. In Bengali he said, You must do the Nama, the name of God, and the Guna, the qualities of God. What are the qualities? Today, at the beginning, I said that he was the Dharmagya, Kritagya, Satyavaka, Dridhabrata. So all these gunas were having. And if we really love Sri Ramachandra, as many people they claim that we are the devotees of Ramachandra, but only taking the dagger and jumping and saying, I am the devotee of Ramachandra, that is not the devotee. The devotee means who is developing the good qualities of Sri Ramachandra. So that is the way we should understand. Now I will conclude as Swami Vivekananda considered Sri Ramakrishna as Ramachandra himself. The young man who was doubting, now after the spiritual practices, he realized, then he expressed in a beautiful song, in a poem, who is this Sri Ramakrishna? Achandala pratihatarayo yasya prema prabha lokatita api pahana jaho loko kalyana margam त्रैलोक्येऽप्या प्रतिमा महिमा जानकी प्राणबन्धो भक्त्या ज्ञानं मृतभरवपु सीतया यो हि Rama, whose flow of love reaches the unhindered to the lowest of the low. That is Ramachandra. Those who boastfully say that Garb se bolo we are Hindus, okay, very good. And if you are the follower of Sri Ramachandra, you should remember Rama went and embraced the Guhaka Chandala. He was the low caste person. And Ramachandra, the God himself, the supreme deity, he went and embraced that Guhaka. That's why Swamiji is telling, whose flow of love went down unhindered up to the low of the low, though not belong to this mundane world, he never gave up the effort to make the people blessed. And this in this three world, that is called the Ashura Loka, Jiva Loka and Deva Loka, he is the unparalleled and he is the very life of the Janaki. Janaki means Sita. So that Ramachandra we bow down. Thank you, friends, and then thank you for organizing this beautiful Ramayana, and slowly we will enter into the different characteristics of the Rama, Lakshmana and all others. Today, in brief, we have discussed about Vishwamitra. And now there are so many characters there. Why characters? Because all those wonderful qualities that they imbibed, that they showed, that they practiced. When we are reading the Ramayana, it is not only the stories. Those qualities we have to imbibe ourselves. Human life is precious. It is not like just eating, sleeping and dying one day. It is only thinking. You have to think. Look at the trees. Look at the big mountains. They are all surviving, but they are not living. Living means you have to develop, every day you have to develop towards God, towards the Supreme. And how you will feel? Your mind will become broad and your mind will become full of love. Thank you. Let us say 3 times Shanti. Then we will listen to the little girl who was asking us to be quiet like this all the time. She will say something. All of you can please say Shanti. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.